I don't want to hear that you're winning all the time because you're not.
I feel like Betty Crocker right now.
Guess what? You ain't going viral. I'm sorry. I am 83 years old. Look how good I look after this.
On today's episode, we sit down with the one and only John Morris. We're getting deep questions, deep facial tissue massages. This is something you don't want to miss. Welcome back to another episode of Spike on the Mic. Today's guest, the one, the only John Morris with 444 Media, and honestly, a large inspiration of this video series that we've been creating has come from John today. So we're gonna get deep, we're gonna get vulnerable. We're here at Skinversity, and we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of facials today. Are you ready to rock?
I mean, I feel like I'm already beautiful, but this is just gonna kick it up another level.
Some people say we have faces for radio, but
I'm
not
totally
after today.
radio.
Not
yeah,
after today.
I should be absolutely on Apple and Spotify, not YouTube.
Yep. So we had to rock the robes, get into character. May or may not have just bought it from Kohl's, so don't rip that off because I'm going to be returning it after this.
Cool.
But
whoever gets to own this next is going to get all my scents.
they're going to have like the nice little cucumbers, like this smell and
it's
everything
gonna be
like
beautiful.
that. So
good for them.
let's go ahead and dive into this here. Ready?
Let's go.
Cool.
Cheers.
We're getting the first official tour from Mona at Skinversity here. Go ahead and walk us through the space.
Hi everyone, so welcome to Skinversity. Skinversity was based on pretty much the diversity of skin types. So I'm going to give you a little tour about what the space looks like. This is our reception area, and this is our retail area. We have our little coffee tea station over here. The space is huge. It's actually supposed to be a historic building. These are going to be the rooms right here. If you follow me.
That's where we're going to come out looking like new men right here today, John.
And then that is my esthetician, Bella, right in there. Can't wait for everybody to come in and check the place out.
Ooh, it's nice and warm. Oh, I feel like Betty Crocker right now. Give me the backstory of 444 Media. How did you get started? How did this all come to fruition?
So I launched my first podcast in 2020 after the pandemic had settled down. And the concept behind the podcast was bring on current customers so that we are sticky, meaning we are in a very commoditized business. There's a ton of competition. So what ends up happening is it comes down to price and product. And we know in sales that's one of the worst decisions that you want your customers to make a decision on. So by having that additional value, we were able to get sticky with our clients and create this brand experience for them. What ended up happening was they would come on, they'd promote their brand, they'd have a great experience, but they'd also in the podcast talk about how they liked working with our organization. So I went, oh my gosh, there's a clip. The second concept was to bring on prospective clients. So essentially my thing was like, find me somebody that's on the edge, on the fence, has heard our presentation but hasn't made a decision yet. Let's bring them in, let's promote them for weeks, let's make them feel like $1 million. And then my theory was if you treat somebody like a client before they're a client, they tend to end up being a client. And what we started to recognize was those folks would either introduce us to somebody who would buy from us, or they would introduce us to somebody in their company that was in charge of contracts or buying promotional products. Some of them turned into long-term contracts, some of them just turned into small transactions, but it started to become a revenue source. So that was the start. I then left that company. I was going to start my own go-to-market strategy consulting firm, and I went to a networking event and I met a gentleman who owned 3 businesses, and he had followed my content for a while, and he essentially said, hey, can you do for me what you did for them? So then I launched my second podcast, and one time is luck, 2 times is a trend. So the first podcast went to top 5% globally for business and marketing. The second one went to top 10% in half the time for business and marketing. And at that point, I started to recognize I'm onto something because both times it became a rev gen source. So then I launched the Golf with JMO show, and the dominoes started to fall. And next thing you know, July 1st, I launched 444 Media.
So part of the reason why I wanted us to do facials is because as we're getting a little bit deep here and vulnerable, last time me and John actually went out and golfed, to put this lightly, he kicked my ass. All right, so John is you're a scratch golfer at this point, right?
+1.
Okay, so he's gotten better since last time. Hey John, where was that networking event at when you talked to that gentleman?
That was Level Up. It was a Level Up networking event that was
shameless plug.
Rather
right
than the monthly events that you guys do, that I host the Level Up podcast for and absolutely love. You've put together this new forum where it's the C-suite, and it's more intimate. It's only 25 or so people, all big time decision makers, and it was really cool because I had a chance to actually, kind of present what my philosophy was and what my vision was, and to present that to CEOs and to see their reaction. Because the gentleman I went to work for, he reacted to it, but all of the other CEOs were like, yeah, you got a winner there, go for it. And so, I feel like my destiny and my fate was to go to work for that company and start that podcast.
At this point now, you were, you said July of last year, you're up to 16 podcasts that you're currently running, operating, helping out with. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's been absolutely crazy. Like I launched the Golf with JMO show. I think we're gonna beat it today, I feel it. Playing the forward tees is not exactly as easy as people think. If you feel good, I'll feel good. And I essentially, with no budget whatsoever, put out 6 pilot episodes, if you will. And I quickly realized within 5 episodes that my subscribers climbed over 4,000. In 4 or 5 episodes, it jumped, views on the channel jumped to about 180,000. I think I sit at about 230,000 views on the channel, and I haven't really done much with it since wintertime, and I hurt my neck, so it was a little hard to golf, but I'm back, baby. But what ended up happening was the first few guests that I brought on were so intrigued by the process that they inquired about whether or not I could take over their social media and how my strategy works. So of the 6 guests that I had, 4 of them turned into my first clients. It just has been like one after the next, and I'm just so grateful that I'm exposed to such professionals. They believe in me, they trust me, and that we're able to collaborate in the way that we are. But what's been the really cool thing is the guests that come on each of the shows that I produce, they inquire about like, what is happening here? This is a really cool thing. And then when we send them all the content and they post it on their social media, they get promotion and they get phenomenal reactions. And what it's turned into is not only a benefit to my clients, but several of those guests have then inquired about, can you do this for me?
And you've had some pretty impressive guests that have been on the shows. And there's, you want to go ahead and dive into a little bit of some of those people that you've had and helped and slash beaten on the golf course?
Yeah, so one of my favorite people in the whole world is Brian Floriani. Support great people.
It's all about the people you surround yourself with, and this is one of them right here.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Brian is the founder of Bernie's Book Bank. Bernie's Book Bank started out of his passion as a teacher to help children read. His goal is to give 8 books to 300,000 to 500,000 kids a year is what the pace is at right now. They've raised about $40 million to donate books to kids. And he wants to close the literacy gap in the United States, which I just think is absolutely amazing. Then he started another company called Buku Branded, which does promotional products and branded apparel. And they give 100% of their net profit back to literacy. So they donate all of their net profit. Like, who does that? He was a golf pro, and then he was on Golf Digest as a teaching professional. He won the Delaware State Championship as a 16-year-old. So just a really good stick, great golfer. So he was the first guest, and when we launched that, it just kind of blew up. I've had on Marty Capel, who is a wealth management mastermind. He owns Capel Wealth Management. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Chris Harrelson to the show. He owns a company called Castle Golf. It's an premium apparel golf brand. You should take a look at that. It's castlegolfco.com. Amazing apparel. So that's been great. But in my career, I've had a chance to interview Dennis McKinnon, who is on the 85 Bears, played wide receiver. They call him Silky D. I had a chance to interview Brian Bickle, 3-time champion. I had a chance to interview Jeremy Roenick. Nick Baumgartner, who won the gold medal in the Winter Olympics. Several authors. Pete Hassan, who is the executive vice president of marketing for the Chicago Blackhawks during their championship run.
So with this being your first facial, what do you think so far?
Well, Bella is absolutely brilliant. She's doing a fantastic job. It is very difficult to talk as a guest while doing this. I feel like I'm interrupting her ritual pattern that she's got down to a science. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you so much.
You are one of the best people in terms of content I've seen on LinkedIn, right? You have thousands of impressions. You do a great job on YouTube. For someone that's just getting ready to start off and they say, hey, I want to take this journey into becoming more aware or better on like LinkedIn and creating these types of things, what type of advice would you give them as they're just starting off?
First off, whoever the LinkedIn content police are, they can go jump. Because the fact of the matter is there are no rules on content. So content essentially is a reflection of your personal brand. It should be a documentary of who you are. And what I want to know is behind the curtain, what are you going through on a day-to-day basis? What are you dealing with? What's your life like? So my cadence is inspire, inform, influence. A lot of content creators believe that it should be just ultra professional all the time, and all you do is teach and you inform and you tell people how amazing and brilliant you are. And I think that that's bogus, because that's not real life. Real life is we all have flaws. Real life is we've all gone through adversity. Real life is we all have bad weeks. We have days where we don't want to get out of bed. That is real life. I don't care how successful you are. There are billionaires that are miserable in life. There are people that make $35,000 a year and can barely pay their bills, and they are the happiest people in the world. So what I want to see from new content creators is not how smart you are. I want to know what it feels like to be around you. I want to know if you were to work for me, work with me, collaborate with me. Give me a look into what that might feel like. Show me your personality. I don't want to hear that you're winning all the time, because you're not. In fact, you're losing more often than you're winning. Tell me about the adversity that you had to overcome in order to get that deal across the finish line. Tell me about the adversity that you have to overcome in order to compete within your organization. Tell me about the adversity that you have in life that has an impact on how you do your day-to-day work. That documentary style type content is compelling, it's entertaining, and it causes me to want to root for you. In my rooting for you, I learn what you do, why you do it, how you do it, and that will eventually cause me to buy from you when I need whatever it is that you do. But let's say that I'm never in the market to buy from you. Can you be compelling enough that I say, hey, this company that needs this service, you should listen to so-and-so on LinkedIn and just follow them, because they talk about stuff like this all the time, and I think you'd love to work with them. So you should be creating content not only for the people that potentially could buy from you, but you should be creating content for people that can relate to your story and will advocate for you. So there are no rules. The rule is tell me who the hell you are, what you're doing, and why you do it, and tell me about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and mix it up. Do it from interesting places. Change it up. Make it punchy. And there is a writing style to that, of course, but my thing would be just start off with doing a post every other day. And then from there, you should up it to every day. Don't start on every platform. Start on one platform. Pick one platform and learn to dominate that platform. When you build a following on that platform, start another platform. Ask the people on that platform to also follow you on the other one. Then learn to dominate that one. Guess what? You ain't going viral. I'm sorry. You have less than you have a 98% chance of not going viral, okay? So does that mean you shouldn't be on social? No. You should be talking to your community. Even if your community is only 500 people, talk to those 500 people. So don't quit. Just keep creating. And if you like it, who cares what other people think? You should like it. It should inspire you. If it inspires you, it'll inspire others. Find your people.
All right, so if they're posting every other day, like, do you recommend them posting pictures with dialogue, videos? Like, how do you recommend like that kind of breakdown for content?
I like to keep people on their toes. I think video is very important because it's the best way to transfer energy, and it's the best way to connect with people because it gives me the ability to see your body language, to see how you flow. If you just do pictures, I really can't get a full understanding of who you are. If you only do video, after a while, I'm like, okay, another video. So I really believe that there should be a cadence. I think that 60% should be video, 40% should be pictures, and just keep mixing it up from day to day to day. Keep people on their toes.
When you're making these videos, how long do you recommend those video that count to be? Right? Like 10 seconds, 60 seconds. Like, give me that breakdown.
Boy, there's a lot of theories on that, right? So ideally 45 seconds to a minute and a half would be a great video on LinkedIn, Instagram. TikTok will tell you that your videos should be, under 30 seconds. Under 10 seconds will have a lot of power. But if you're doing an under 10-second video on TikTok, you probably need to do 4 or 5 a day, right? So let's just talk about the professional sector. Most of the time, your vibe is going to be LinkedIn, right? On LinkedIn, your videos should be 45 seconds to a minute and a half. But I am seeing more and more people doing a really strong hook and then posting a clip that's 2-3 minutes long. That's an interview style, and actually getting a deeper engagement with that. But if you don't have a good hook, people aren't going to watch that full video. So there's a lot that goes into it. You can't just flip the camera on and go talking into it, although you should start out that way. But if you really want to kick it up to another level, you probably should talk to somebody about how to do a hook, how to do transitions, where to place the captions, what type of music to put behind it. Like there's kind of an art form to it, even on LinkedIn.
So what do you think right now that we're closing in on the end of this facial here? How do you feel? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel rejuvenated? Give me the census, man.
I feel as relaxed as I get, which is probably hyper for most people.
Well, I appreciate you doing this with me. This is my very first facial. I can honestly say, just listening to some of the things that you were mentioning here, taking it all in, I feel like a new man right now. So
can we do our next recording from a studio?
Yeah.
I am 83 years old. Look how good I look after this. Can you believe this? So today was absolutely amazing because it was completely out of the realm of what I would have pictured that I would have been doing today. I haven't had a facial in 20 years, but the folks here at Skinversity absolutely took care of me by way of Spike Engelman, the one and only Spike on the mic. If you're looking for amazing benefits, call Spike. If you're looking to have your skin glow like this, it's right there, baby, Skinversity.
Today was super exciting for myself just because of the fact that a large part of this Spike on the Mic video series has been inspired by John and a lot of the things that he's helped me do through Level Up Social Club. So today was definitely getting vulnerable in terms of doing a new experience. This is my first time ever getting a facial, and I want to give a big thank you to Skinversity, Mona, Bella, and their team. This is so much fun. You can probably see myself exfoliating right now, and this was a really cool experience.